anybody like Pete Burns, and I think I always remember being absolutely terrified to meet him. But meeting, he was a gentle giant, but if you got on the wrong side of him, he certainly let you know it. But I've never met anyone quite like Pete. He was brilliant.
How did you come across him first then?
I was working on a Big Brother spin-off show a few years back. He'd already been in and become notorious for his gorilla coat and Dancing with George Galloway, and was coming back on as a guest and panellist. And I used to go off and do some filming with him, and he was always just really game. He was really up for it. He knew what the attraction in him was. He knew what he was there for, and he delivered every single time. And he was just a really, really lovely man. My heart goes out to him and Michael.
Yeah, well, indeed so. High maintenance, certainly on Celebrity Big Brother. Had to wear high heels, he said, because I'm trying to remember, were the muscles on his calf had shortened or something? I can't remember, but
he was just high maintenance, full stop.
Okay. He talked also that he had this really unconventional childhood and started experimenting with his look at an early stage. And yet the surgery he had seems almost obsessive, doesn't it? And caused him pain and discomfort at times. What do you think drove him to do that? Because it certainly made him distinctive, but why go in that direction?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, he had a really unconventional upbringing, as you said, and I'm sure there are many reasons why he went down the path he did. He did regret it a little bit, I think, but that's for him to kind of. That's for his family to think about, really. I mean, I remember him for the music, and he was brilliant.
Yes, and certainly Wayne Hussey, former guitarist for Dead or Alive, also sent out a message saying that he was sat in a dressing room in Bratislava on tour with The Mission, saying that Pete was and will remain quite possibly the most naturally talented person I've ever worked with, always larger than life, which sometimes tended to obscure that fact. Was he really talented? Because we remember that song, but what else do we remember of him?
Well, I mean, for starters, I mean, you overlook the fact he had an incredible voice. He had a fine pair of lungs on him, did Pete. He was brilliant. And one thing that Pete did do, which he doesn't get a lot of credit for, was that he was one of the guys that brought the actual sounds that was really happening in the gay clubs in the 80s into the charts. There was a lot of American disco in the charts at the time, but it was Pete that really brought that filthy kind of sound into the charts, and he kind of he did not muck about.
And was he always committed to his music? He said that he actually began his music career after finding work in a record shop in his teens.
Yeah, one of my friends used to go into the record shop and bought records off him back in the day, and he actually used to refuse to sell certain records to people if he didn't like them. That was just the kind of guy he was.
That's just the start of a long career doing the same, probably. How do you think he's going to be remembered? I mean, we remember his distinctive look, certainly, but in terms of his music and how he would want to be remembered, what do you think it would be?
I think he'd want to be remembered as an icon, as the creator of one of the greatest pop records that we've ever heard, and as someone who did everything on his terms. He was a great man.
Yeah, married to a woman for 25 years and then to a man who you've already mentioned. His life continued to be somewhat unconventional, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and Lynn and Michael tended to go with him wherever he went, really. They were always kind of omnipresent in the studios and stuff, and he, from the last time I saw him, he was on very good terms with everybody. He was unconventional in everything that he did.
Well, he's a big loss, and certainly I think today's news will drive many people to seek out their 1980s record collections, don't you?
So they should.
Yes, indeed. Jamie East, thank you very much indeed for your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Anna.
Now, heading of football can cause serious harm to